can speak for yourself on that, and that's fine.
Well, I mean, you have a biblical point of view, and that
has nothing to do with the Bible at all.
Well, then stop.
I have a common sense.
I don't want to hear it.
I have a common sense point of view.
You're wrong.
No, actually.
Okay, you're not seeing the whole picture.
No, I see plenty of the picture. Trust me. I see.
I don't give a shit what people do.
I know you
as
don't.
long as they're decent people.
You're so wrong.
Oh, well, that's another problem. They're not decent people.
Most of them are just fine. Yeah.
No.
Oh, you met some bad ones?
I've met a few, yeah.
They treated you like shit?
Yeah. You know why? Because I think differently than they do.
It's hard to be tolerant when you're persecuted.
Don't talk to me about persecution. I'm Irish Italian, all right? My people have seen some shit. And guess what? I'm not harping on it. But anyway, welcome to the show.
You are now entering the realm of the freaky deaky, an unsuspecting stop at the crossroads of fantasy and reality, where the frayed edges of make-believe seep into this cookie-cutter white picket world you've been led to believe is far from extraordinary. What you're about to hear are true stories.
Alleged true stories.
Christian, just... okay? Tales of the strange and inexplicable thought only to exist in film and folklore. Although difficult to accept, we do not know everything about this reality, about time or space, what lies beneath the ocean's depths. And try though we might, the unchanging truth remains. There are some things we legitimately cannot explain logically.
Christian and I were talking about hockey, as you can tell.
Atlas was talking about hockey at the restaurant today.
Yeah, that boy yesterday, tell me why. He doesn't want to play with me all damn day until the game is on. And then he's like, go in other room, play hockey with Dada. I'm like, you little...
That's the whole reason you should put a TV in there. Then you can watch hockey while you're in there playing.
I know, but I actually have this projector right here I was going to put in there, but I just need to hang it on the wall. So
his therapist said he was like a little bit out of it today. I'm like, yeah, because he's got people to play with them.
Yeah, he's very exhausted, it turns out.
He almost didn't want to go to the restaurant because he wanted to come home.
Oh, really?
And then the last second, he's like, okay.
Yeah.
But he had so much fun there. And the waitress was like, he's so cute. She uses a different word.
Yeah.
And he talks so well. She usually helps us every time we come in, so she's gotten to know us. And he is really good there.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, he'll play with stuff on the table. Like today, it was the knife. I'm like,
he'll just pick up the old steak knife and start stabbing the table. You know how they do.
And I'm like, just don't point it towards your face. But he was good. And then he's really good out there. I don't know how he is for you guys. Sometimes
it varies.
Yeah, sometimes they push it a little bit more with their parents. But every time he's super good for me all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's great for you, Christian.
Well, it's also normal.
Sure.
But you'd much rather have your kids, when they do have their bad moments, have them with you in China than...
No, I don't want to deal with that shit. I want them to be a perfect little angel with daddy.
That ain't going to happen.
And then they want him to give you and everyone else just straight hell.
No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work on me because I'd be like, okay, whatever, we're going to... Because I don't get riled up.
That's true. Well, our previous conversation says otherwise. Folks, welcome back.
Not with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when I'm hanging out with him, I realize what's most important.
Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I get it too.
I was going to say Atlas, but...
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. Folks, welcome to Freaky Listeners. Freaky Listeners, that's you guys. Freaky Listener Stories, Volume 3. Wow. See, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I'm tired, and this is what happens. This is why I said we're not doing 2 episodes today, because I just knew going in, I'm like,
I fell asleep at 3.
Different strokes, you know? Anyway, this is Volume 10 of Freaky Listener Stories, and I feel like I've been putting it off for a while, and that's because I've been so overwhelmed with responding to emails. I'm like, every time I get 5 minutes to myself, I'm like, I just don't know if I can get through all these emails in 5 minutes. And so I didn't, and I put it off, but here we are. We made it.
Big shout out to Scott. I gotta say good things about you because it's been a hectic few weeks for me, and you've been just rolling right along like you always do.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah, it has been a hectic few weeks for you. Nevertheless, we persist, like Target wall art.
This is my happy place. One of them.
One of two. The other one's a brothel. But
no,
that's
not what it is.
It's for TFD After Dark right there. Speaking of which, we're actually starting to record TFD After Dark now.
Right now.
Right this second.
This is TFD After Dark.
Just kidding. This is the normal show. But we're starting to get a little bit of a backlog with those episodes so that we can hopefully get that up and rolling sometime early 2025. Fingers crossed, assuming there's no crazy things that go off the rails. But I got my mom in town till January. I got my sister and Josh in town for a couple weeks now. So we got some time to take care of some business. if I had that soundbite taken, but I'm not going to. It's fine.
I hate that song anyway.
You hate every reference to any song on the show that isn't weird 80s death metal, and that's fine.
I don't know
Or German death metal.
what is going on. I don't like German death metal. I don't like death metal that much, but Creed has been following me around lately.
Wow.
Everywhere I go, there's some Creed references. It's driving me nuts.
Maybe Creed's making a comeback, you know?
No.
You know how everything is making a comeback? There's like random trends and stuff that are coming back.
I'm old enough to have been through a bunch of comebacks. They're not really what they seem.
They're brief. They're usually like a flash in the pan,
Yeah,
but you know.
They're not as good as the original.
Sure.
Not that Creed was ever good.
Stop lying. You know you love them.
Scott Stapp should just make music in his living room and that's it.
Well, with today's technology, you can, and you can still release it on Spotify. I'm living proof of that. But we have got some fun stories, including a few from the last episode that I pushed into this one because I was like, I don't think we got enough time. And I think I had to do that again this episode because we had a few too many.
I have a listener story sitting on my desk at home.
That seems like a horrible place to keep it.
It is, but it's been hectic. I have it sitting there to remind me to send it, to put it into a digital form so we can use it, and it's just been too crazy.
Can I tell you how to put it in digital form very quickly?
What?
You just take a picture of it, and then you push your finger down and you copy the text off the image and text it.
It's handwriting. That doesn't always work.
Is it cursive?
No.
That might work.
I'll try it, but I think I tried it already.
Oh, yeah. Well, that checks out.
Sorry, Michelle.
Sorry, Michelle. Anyway, folks, if you are new to the show, what a weird place to start. Volume 10 of Freaky Listener Stories. Alrighty. Be sure to follow us on social media at Freaky Deaky Pod. Wherever you are at, we are at that as well. You can also send in your stories for future episodes of Freaky Listener Stories to thegang at thefreakydeaky.com. And we ask one thing of our new listeners, or even our shadow-dwelling weekly listeners. If you have not rated and reviewed the show yet, now is your chance to do that. Make Daddy proud. Anyway.
Please don't call Scott Daddy.
Yeah, that's reserved for a select few.
Gross.
That is gross. I regret saying that immediately, but it's fine. Anyway, and now that we've rambled on, I'm sure you're ready for us to ramble in to some stories. This first one is another story from Amanda. It's called The Big Black Dog.
Do you know how to say Amanda's last name?
I don't think I've ever said last names in the listener
I know.
story
I'm
episodes.
just curious because I've seen it. And it looks like a hard name to say if it's the Amanda I'm thinking of.
It's probably not because it was a fairly easy name to say. But I'm not going to dox our listeners.
No, we don't need to. I was just curious if you knew.
It's really weird that on the email I say, can we use your name? Like sometimes people want us to give like nicknames. And I'm like, okay. But at the same time, like a name like Amanda, you're like, there's a million Amandas. No one's going to listen to this and be like, I know that Amanda, you know?
I just talked to an Amanda a couple hours ago.
Would you look at that?
And so did your son.
And so did my son. Miss Amanda, that is correct. You are correct. Anyway, let's get into this big black dog, huh?
Everybody likes a black dog story.
Phrasing. It's fine. Says, I currently live in the middle of nowhere. Hey, I've been there. I have a chronic illness that requires me to drive a long way to see a specialist. One day in March 2018, while I was driving to a doctor's appointment, I saw something I can't explain.
It was a black dog, I bet.
Nope. It was a beautiful day in Nebraska.
No such thing.
Wow. Christian already with the negativity. Clear and sunny. I got to an area where it's just cows and flat pastures for miles.
I thought Nebraska was corn.
You can have both, Christian. It's not just you think you enter Nebraska and it's all corn.
I mean, isn't that the name of their football team?
The Nebraska Corns? I doubt it.
Corn Huskers?
Yes. I'm an alert driver, making sure I don't hit anything. My father, being an over-the-road driver, instilled safety in me.
Over the road? Oh, I guess that's a truck driver, right?
I'm assuming so, yeah. Then I saw this big black dog or wolf creature run across the road on all fours. It was massive and dark.
It was Dogman.
It was.
Doesn't exist.
It was only a couple of 100 yards in front of me, so I was going to stop and take a picture of it. Sometimes we get a rare wolf or two from Yellowstone that wanders our way for food. I wanted to take a picture of it. I pulled up to where it should be in the pasture. Nothing. It was flat ground, and this thing was massive. I should have been able to see it. It was just gone. It creeped me out. I told my boyfriend about the experience, and he brushed it off as nothing. Fast forward a couple months to June 2018, I had my 3 kids and aunt in my car. We were driving the back roads to get to a different city. All of a sudden, not even 300 yards in front of us, a big black dog appeared. I didn't say anything at this point because I thought I was going crazy. Then my oldest asked if we saw that big dog. I shook my head yes, and my aunt said, "That's a big dog." It ran across the dirt road in 2 leaps. And headed into the pasture next to us where some cattle were grazing on grass. We slowed down, wanting to take a picture of the creature, but it was gone. Nothing. This thing was massive and it was gone. We still drive down that road and I roll up my windows and we don't get out. I don't know where it went. Everything in our area is level. There are no hills or anywhere it could hide behind. It vanished. My kids still talk about it to this day. My boyfriend is Native American, so I wonder if it's connected to his culture or something completely different. I have no clue, but my rational mind can't figure out where these 2 big dogs or wolves went. We own 2 St. Bernards, so I know big dogs. These creatures were bigger than my 200-pound St. Bernard. Wow.
That's a pretty big dog.
That's a pretty big dog, yeah.
I mean, there are a couple big dogs bigger than a St. Bernard, but there aren't many.
Ghost dog. Hellhound, perhaps. That'd be a fun episode. We haven't touched on hellhounds.
I mean, I feel like the description fits our last Dogman episode's description.
Well, the last Dogman episode was white.
Was it white?
Yeah. You talking about James?
Yeah, dogs can be different colors.
I know, but you said it fits the description, so I just had to clarify there.
Similar way of seeing it.
I don't see the world in color. I'm just saying it was white and this one's black.
Ebony and ivory together in perfect harmony.
Wow. Yeah, but I mentioned horrible songs. Sure. Sure.
I didn't say that was a good song.
Yeah, you did. You whispered it. Nobody heard
That's a song I had to hear a million times when it came out because it was so popular. And the radio was a thing then. That was before we could just listen to whatever the hell we wanted to.
Yeah, the radio was a thing back then, Christian.
It explains why I don't like Creed. Because the radio stations played 3 Creed songs every hour for like 2 years.
Have you considered maybe putting in a CD?
I wanted to listen to the radio station.
Radio's weird.
But it was okay back then. Plus, I had friends on the radio back then that I listened to.
You listened to the show Friends on the radio?
No, I had friends that were on the radio.
Oh, fancy.
I feel like, going back to the story, it was interesting she mentioned the Native American boyfriend. I mean, I don't think she's seeing something from their culture. I think she may be seeing something that is mentioned by their culture as being part of their experiences through time.
But we learned from Chook not to say that word. Are we thinking of the same word?
I mean, I wasn't going to say that word, but I'm also not afraid of that word.
Yeah, I'm not afraid either.
I mean, I might be if I was down in the lower 48 in Skinwalker territory.
Wow. Sorry, Chook. Sorry, Chook. Some people just don't learn their lessons, it turns out.
Oh, and I have to go back down that way, so maybe I shouldn't be saying that because I'll be down there in a couple weeks.
Go ahead and roll down that window when you're driving around and scream it out and then start whistling at night. How's that sound?
I might do that for the pod. There's that graveyard right there.
I whistled at night when I was out. This is some hella ballsy shit. When the lights were out really good, I was outside my front lawn taking pictures of lights and whistling. I was like, come at me, bro.
You've heard about the whistling in Alaska, right? You remember Morgan talking about that? Don't whistle in the northern lights.
I know, that's why I did it.
You'll lose your head.
I did it, and here I am with my head still intact.
See?
Unless there's a mental thing. If it's like a mental thing, then that's been gone for a while.
That is true.
And she ain't coming back.
Oh, it's a she, huh?
It is, yeah. It turns out my head's Do you like that? Oh, do I get to block that out? People are going to be so pissed. That's fine. You guys get it. It's fine.
What you do is you just block it out enough to where you hear the R and people are like,
did he just say that? Did he just say, hell yeah? Have you seen that video of the cat doing that?
Oh, I did see that.
That, like, the black guy, that is the funniest video of all time.
Cats are ridiculously funny sometimes.
So hilarious. I could not stop laughing. Oh my God. Yeah, it's fine.
Got to stop listening to so much rap. Cat's picking it up.
Yeah. This is the only word I want to say from that. Here we go. No.
That's exactly how a cat would be too.
Sure.
They're going to do what...
They probably think it all the time.
They just do things to annoy the crap out of you sometimes.
Sure. Yeah. Classic. Amanda, thank you for that story. We don't have answers, it turns out.
I have answers.
I wouldn't trust them.
It's a mythical beast.
Ooh. They kind of got like a Beast of Bray Road vibe a little bit, right?
Yeah. That's
maybe
what I was
thinking. More wolf-like, but still.
I mean, it should be more wolf-like because we still have wolves here. Most of the places where the wolf stories come from killed all the wolves in Europe. So,
well, there you go. Ghost wolf solved it.
That would be interesting. Could you imagine ghosts? That would be
We might not have to imagine it, you know?
Animals of the world become ghost
Okie dokie.
and get us back.
Yeah, they're just all listening to this podcast right now.
Places like with cow farms, all these ghost cows, ghost pigs, ghost chickens. That would be so annoying. Like
Yeah.
everybody, when I said that, thinking, oh, ghost dogs, ghost wolves. No, I'm talking about the things coming back to get us because we
You ever
put
seen
them on a farm and
you like ghost worms, friend? Huh?
yeah, ghost of cows fed hormones all their life.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, RFK, get him. No, it's fine. This next story is from, actually, this is the one I was talking about. You remember Lara, of course.
Yeah.
Fantastic stories. And actually, Lara, while we're on the subject, I can't respond to your email because the inbox was full. So get in there and delete that spam.
I have a lot of shit in my email.
Mine is at 92%, so I'm not here to judge, right?
I guess I should check and see what my...
I've got maybe, another 5 to 6 months before I get inundated with nothing but spam messages and it fills up.
Sometimes I just wish delete all was on the top.
Mm-hmm. I literally just search specific names like Best Buy or something like that.
Good idea.
And then just batch delete all those.
That is brilliant.
Well, I'm known for nothing less, and nothing more. Just Best Buy email deletion tactics. It's fine. Anyway, this is Lara's wife and a wild astral visit.
Wait, what? What was it?
You're going to find out.
Okay.
You're going to find out very soon. Says, well, hello again to my favorite creepy humans.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
creepy.
Okay.
That's a good song.
That is a good song, but I stopped too soon. I'm not going to continue. Anyway, a few weeks ago, I was admitted to the hospital for pain management. Shingles on the trigeminal. Damn it, Lara. I couldn't say this. Trigeminal? That sounds
Are we allowed to say that on the air?
I hope so. Nerve. It's a nerve.
Well, I didn't know it got on the
Trigeminal.
nerve. Like, I guess that's why it hurts so much is because shingles affect the nerves, I guess.
Well, she says I have multiple sclerosis, and this was a complication. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But this isn't my crazy astral story. My wife works third shift, so by the time she went to sleep, she had been awake for over 24 hours. Around 2 a.m., my nurse came in to give me some medication. My wife woke up immediately and exclaimed, "Oh my God, I was flying. I'm so disappointed I woke up. That was so much fun."
Been there.
He has been there, turns out. She told us she had been flying all over Carrollton because I was in the hospital picking up things I needed for my stay. At one point, she flew into a Starbucks to get me a coffee, but quickly left because it was full of mean men. Classic. She even thought one of them tried to grab her, so she took off flying again. As she was in the air, she noticed something on her backpack. It turned out that one of the men had clipped a bag of cocaine and ecstasy to it. She tucked it into her pocket, thinking, Michelle is going to be so excited. Wow. Well, would you look at that? Mind you, we haven't touched substances since the 90s. Classic. Christian's right there with you. Well, he touches substances a lot, turns out, but it's mainly just the marijuana. Anyway.
Yep, I do touch a lot of that.
He does touch a lot of that. Next, she flew into a miniature Waffle House. A man inside asked her, "Is your name Jackson?" She responded, "They call me Action Jackson." He laughed and said, "Close enough, we've got drugs for you." Just then, the nurse came into my room and woke her up. She told us all about it and said it was the most fun she's ever had dreaming. I told her that was definitely no dream. It sounds like a genuine out-of-body experience. I was so excited for her. I know that's not exactly a family-friendly astral visit, but it's hilarious nonetheless.
I almost feel like this might not be an astral visit because of the
drug clipping thing?
Not just that, but interacting with the people.
There's people in the astral plane, though, no? Maybe not at Starbucks, but maybe at Starbucks. We don't know much about it.
Not the mean men handing out drugs. They don't usually hang out in the astral realm. I'm wondering if she stepped into another dimension.
That's creepy.
Or another her.
Another her.
That's a drug dealer.
Wow. Wow. You're just on a roll
Which
today.
would be kind of fun to step in other yous that do other things in the...
I'm going to step into yous. Anyway, I've always had sleep paralysis and OBEs when I worked third shift, so I was just waiting for hers to happen. I had to share this with you. It really did sound like a genuine astral visit. Her name is Jackie, but in the miniature Waffle House, the man called her Jackson. I nearly died when she told me she said they call me Action Jackson.
That is hilarious.
That is pretty funny, yeah. I'll save my own sleep paralysis experience for another time to keep this email from turning into a novel. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I hope you're all doing well, and I wish you many blessings. Much love, Lara.
You should have titled this one Action Jackson.
That would get some weird hits, I imagine. Not like they would click in back, well, wait a second, you know? This isn't what I was after, but it's what I'm staying for now.
You weren't after a bag of ecstasy in the astral realm? That's like the only, like the best place to do that kind of stuff.
I guess, yeah, no consequence. Well, maybe some consequence, but well, I mean, we haven't had enough experience to know.
Do they have astral fentanyl or something?
Wow. Now it's getting pretty dark, huh?
Dude, that's only because I heard a story about fentanyl from one of our customers the other day.
You have some very strange conversations with the people that enter your store for marijuana.
It is amazing, though.
That's a word for it.
Because I like talking to people, so
that is true.
I learned a lot of stuff. I got invited kayaking and curling recently.
Two vastly different sports, if you can call one of those a sport. Let's be honest.
I've always wanted to go curling.
Why?
Because it just looks like a fun sport to do with your friends. Maybe drink a little or whatever.
Wow. Not.
I'll let you know when I do it.
Sure. Have fun. You know, send pictures of your curling match with your little brooms and your weird millstone or whatever they throw out there.
It's one of my
flat
favorites.
Bowling ball.
I love that in the Winter Olympics.
What do they call that big thing?
A stone.
That's all. Yeah, get the brooms and the stone. Yeah. This needs to be retired. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone that was into curling. It's over. Not in this America, all right?
Well, because America's not usually very good at it.
That is true. It sounds more Canadian. Hello, Christina.
You know, though, when I see American curlers, they tend to come from the same places as American bowlers. Fascinating. Anyway.
I wouldn't call that fascinating, but I see where you're going.
Why do you think this was an astral realm thing?
Look, I've heard some crazy astral stories. I have not heard drug dealing in the astral realm for sure, but the, I guess, lucidity of it is kind of interesting. The fact that, you know, you're hyper aware of everything that's going on. You wake up, know every single thing. Like it was like a real experience.
I mean, my experiences with that are similar, not with the drugs and interacting with people, but what if the new astral realm with all these like younger demographic that understands it, maybe they're changing the astral realm and it's more like
you think Gen Z's going at the astral realm with ecstasy?
Maybe it's like some of the astral realms like NPCs and stuff like that. And maybe we're creating some of what's going on there. And maybe it's just like a Sim City and
it's the upside down. Like
the Sims in the astral realm now, instead of just like back in the 70s when I would just jump really high and fly through the air.
Yeah.
Maybe now you can go to the bank or go to Starbucks. And
what if the physical reality that we live in, right? Like the tension in physical reality, like when they're, you know, obviously the world has been chaos for a while. What if the crazier it gets out here, it like bleeds into the astral realm?
You would think it would have to, right?
Kind of like almost like, you know, Stranger Things with the upside down.
Yeah.
But instead of weird monsters and stuff, it's just like the spiritual world is now exactly what we're doing up here, but with, I don't know, weird drugs and shit. I don't know. I don't know how to flesh out that idea. In my head, it makes sense, but me saying it out loud, I sound like a mental patient. So
it kind of all of it makes sense if you go back.
The mental patient part.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you go back to the simulation, maybe
that was the beta test.
If we're in a simulation, then the astral realm would be a part of that simulation. It would be maybe a little different, but
I patched in some drugs. Don't worry. Yeah. This episode is not going to be.
The CIA found out how to make a profit in the astral realm.
That would not surprise anyone, I'm sure. Yes, but thank you, Lara. And yes, be sure to send in your sleep paralysis stories. We do enjoy those as well. And as a matter of fact, we do those a lot. I feel like we do a decent amount of sleep paralysis episodes, and that's because the stories are always so fun. Same with like Ouija boards, which I believe is coming out next week. Damn, I have to think about the schedule. We might have to put this after the Christmas episode, so I might have numbered this wrong. But it's fine. If Christmas is past, Merry Christmas. And if it's not, Happy New Year. And if that passed, I don't know what day it is anymore.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes. Congratulations on another year around the sun or something like that. That's fine.
Make sure the son is of legal age, though. We don't want you going to jail.
Around the sun? Wow.
Oh, okay.
Wow, Christian. Anyway. Yeah, Lara, clean out that inbox and send in that story. How's that sound? Okay. Okie dokie. I have it saved in my drafts to keep trying at some point. It's fine. I've played out the email bit. I'm going to move into the next story.
Yeah, please do. I'm tired of email.
From Bethany. And if I remember correctly, Bethany is someone that can't stand the look of us on video. So she went back to audio.
Weird.
Which, honestly, smart move, Bethany. I'm not going to hold that against you. I get it.
Bethany, am I ugly?
I think we both might be. And this is a common theme that I've found from people that listen to the show for a while and then they watch the YouTube, they're like, you guys look vastly different than what I pictured.
See, when that does happen to me a lot when I'm listening to things and then I see them, but
sure,
I'm like, no, but I get it. Some people just
Bethany just can't stand the sight of us, and that happens.
I'm beautiful, Bethany,
inside, and that's fine. But she's also helping us spread the word by slapping some stickies around town, so appreciate you.
No, we're not knocking you for not wanting to look at us, but
yeah,
our moms would be knocking you because our moms appreciate us.
My mom thinks I'm hot. No, just kidding. Wow.
Not like that, you weirdo.
And now, the story. Now we've gotten the awkward introduction out of the way. Well, let's continue. So there's a couple ones here. This is sleep paralysis.
Bethany is also a great name.
Bethany is a great name. Do you have someone in your life or do you just like the name Bethany?
I've always liked it.
It's a nice name. It rolls off the tongue very well. I remember waking up, unable to move. I always sleep with the TV on so I could see, but whatever I was watching had ended, leaving the TV in screensaver mode.
How do people do that? Sleep with the TV on?
I used to do it all the time. It's
weird.
No, it's actually very comforting when you see weird demons and shit all the time.
It's a good way to get brainwashed.
Oh. My dad I used to have to put like a towel or something down at the base of the door so it didn't look like the TV was on because my dad gets so pissed that I'm not paying electricity bills, but I got
really?
Yeah, I got the balls to fucking leave the TV on all night.
God, I think you might be the last generation of having to listen to that because now then everybody's like, wait, electricity's kind of cheap.
You so much as leave the door open for more than 30 seconds. It's like, what, you paying this shit? No, I don't believe I am, Dad, but that's fine.
You need to ask him how he feels about all the technology we have to have plugged in that's constantly running. I'd never asked my dad that either because my dad was really bad about that with electricity, but this has got to be driving them nuts.
No, my dad has changed in his old age.
He'll all change as we get older. You'll see. You'll get there eventually.
I'll get there eventually. I used to be happy, Christian.
Hopefully not so soon.
Do you think I haven't changed since then?
You're not unhappy. You're just tired.
That's okay. Okie doke.
And that makes it seem worse sometimes. But parenting is no sleep.
Till Brooklyn.
Of course.
That's fine.
And you're not even driving yet. So it's going to be a while before you get to Brooklyn.
That is true. Isn't that reassuring? Anyway, the TV was in screensaver mode. The room was darker than usual, and I distinctly remember seeing the profile of a face approaching mine from the direction of the headboard. It got close to my ear and whispered, "Hey." At that moment, I could finally move, but there was nothing there. After that, I slept with the lights on, hell yeah, for a while. That experience stands out the most to me, but I've had strange encounters all my life. Everyday things messing with me, hiding stuff that reappears as soon as I turn around, hearing my name called when no one is there, or seeing people out of the corner of my eye when no one is around. Yeah, I've had a few of those myself. Not fun. And she goes into a Shadow Man story as well, saying, I was at work one night with my boss doing inventory. We were the only two in the store. We were counting things together when I swear I saw a tall shadow man in a top hat. I recognized who or what it was, so I didn't freak out. I just kept working. A little while later, I was standing in front of that same aisle when I heard my boss gasp. I asked her what was wrong. She said, I swear I just saw someone standing behind you in the aisle. I responded, tall, shadowy figure, big hat? She nodded. I told her I saw him earlier too. She didn't like that at all, but I've seen the shadow man many, many times. For Christian, my therapist tells me that seeing shadow people is caused by sleep deprivation, but my boss and I both saw the same thing, so...
I think at times it is sleep deprivation. I'm not sure it is always, but...
Your boss was feeling your sleep deprivation.
Yeah, or it could, sometimes maybe a coworker or a partner or a friend's brain gets synced with yours in a certain place. I mean, we've hung out with people where you're basically thinking the same things at the same time and, having a kind of a shared experience that seems almost impossible without some kind of weird connection we don't understand. So maybe that's what's going on with the coworker. Or maybe there is actually a shadowy figure there.
I think that's the most likely case, yes.
And if that is the case, it's a demon and you shouldn't work there anymore. A few more minutes, I would have developed a fetish.
We know.
Shadowy fetish.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I'm picturing a grocery store, unfortunately. I'm reminded of a story that sounded similar to this, but it was a grocery store. Now, we may have actually touched on it.
Seems pretty hard to have a shadowy figure in most modern grocery stores because they're very bright.
I think that would actually be the most ideal place to see one because the light would hit it from all angles. You have no other options in your head, like, oh, maybe it was just a weird light or something like that. Nah. This thing was well lit and it had a top hat, damn it.
Unless you're at like our local Three Bears, that's kind of shadowy at times. But most modern supermarkets are very bright.
Very bright.
Because that makes you buy more.
Made it up. Made it up.
Did I, though?
Excellent. Double tap that bad boy.
Because supermarkets are like the science of mind control.
Nobody cares.
So,
of course they don't, because they want to think they're in control of what they spend their money on.
God,
but we're not. We're not. They got us.
Get to the point.
Scott, why'd you leave the soapbox here?
I know. I was worried that I'd have to push every single one of these songs that we got on cue, but thankfully you eventually stopped. For the love of God, Christian, stop.
It might be worse because I did not imbibe in any kind of form today.
Either did I, but I was also working.
Well,
so
I was watching a young one.
That as well. Yes, turns out. Not fun.
It's the most fun I ever have.
No, I said not fun by not,
Nah, I had a good time.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, this next one's from Robin. Robin, you a real one. You've sent in some fantastic stories.
Is she a real one?
She is a real one.
Like sometimes do you ever think that, never mind.
I was about to push another button and you felt it coming. I know you felt it coming. Anyway, she writes in, this is the ghost guard of the pantry. Hell yeah.
Hold on a second, I'm going to make noise.
Wow, Christian over there making noise.
My mouth is dry. A few more minutes, I would have developed a fetish. What did I say to
you? Let me tell you, you have said, and I haven't even clipped sometimes I'm too tired to even clip it. I'll be editing and I'll be like, nah, I'm going to let that one slip away.
I say some ridiculous things.
I've noticed.
I even do it at work.
Well, that's not shocking. We are ourselves on this podcast, Christian. What people get of you here is what they would get of you in the real world.
Yeah.
We are not personalities. We have personalities. And that's what makes us special. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. It's fine. Anyway, Robin writes, I would say it was around 1993. My family was in between homes and we were staying at a friend of my mom's for a short period. This woman was a single mom with a young daughter. The daughter was fun and we got along with her. Her mom was kind of mean and I feel like she really hated us being there. Our first day there, the woman walks us into her home and starts showing us around. The kitchen opened to the dining area and there was a large pantry on the wall connecting the two rooms. She tells us that the pantry has her daughter's snacks and treats and we are absolutely not allowed to go in there.
Edibles. How old's the daughter?
Well, not that old, Christian, but that's fine.
The mom's edibles. She just labels them as kid stuff so they have to stay out.
You like Christian mansplaining in your friend's house or whatever?
I'm just telling you the stories that go on in my head sometimes.
You're saying the silent part out loud. It's fine. So, we are absolutely not allowed to go in there. Then she proceeds to tell us that they have a ghost who usually opens the cupboard doors in the morning and they believed it was just trying to be helpful. I remember strongly rolling my eyes. Some days later, the woman and her daughter go to the store. 4 of my siblings decided to go with her. However, my older sister Mandy and I chose to stay behind. As soon as the car drove away, the 2 of us ran to the kitchen without so much as a knowing glance. Being the little shits we were, we decided to raid the pantry of treats. We opened the pantry and sitting in all its glory was crackers and cookies and candies of all kinds. We're so excited. We reach in to take what we want when suddenly there's a bang. The sound is loud and repetitive. Boom, boom, boom. We spin around. Directly behind us is a sliding glass door that leads to the backyard. There's nothing there, but we're sure that's where the noise came from. Suddenly, boom, boom, boom. The noise is deafening. We scream and run to the living room. We both jump on the couch and huddle together. Boom, boom, boom. Now the sound is coming from the window right above our heads. We're frozen in fear as the banging becomes incessant. Mandy and I stayed huddled together on that couch until everyone came home. We told everyone we heard banging, but of course left out the part of us trying to steal treats. The woman just laughed it off knowing it was her ghost. The weird thing being, that was the only paranormal activity we ever experienced in the short time we stayed with her. Maybe she was into Santeria or something. Or maybe she had a crystal ball. You didn't think about that, did you, Robin?
Maybe those snacks weren't her daughter's snacks. Maybe they were the poltergeisty entity living in the house banging on
Sacrificial
things.
offerings of these Twix bars, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Some ghosts respond to sugar, some tobacco.
Some to lemonade as well.
Yeah. And then others, if you bring a priest, they react to them. But that's a demon.
That is a demon. And turns out they're real. So
They're not.
weird flex for the ghost to be protecting pantry sweets. I'll say it. And I'll throw it out there. Very hilarious. Is the ghost bored?
Maybe the ghost just has a job. Do you ever think that? Maybe ghosts
No.
have specific things they're supposed to do at certain times, like walk a Civil War battlefield until the non-believers see them.
Sure. That
Wear-
happens all the time.
Wear a white dress and be a lady in white in various parts of the world. Maybe
Hell
they have
yeah.
a job.
I mean, maybe, but
Maybe lady in white is like a high-class ghost, since some of them tend to be famous and
wow.
former royalty.
Wow.
I think Anne Boleyn shows up in white sometimes.
Every time anyone says that, I think of the band Anne Berlin. And let me tell you, it's confusing at times, but it's fine.
I remember that band. I don't remember their music, but I remember, oh, that's kind of funny. They sound like Anne Boleyn. I wonder if they meant to. I'm sure they did.
Probably. Yeah. Yep, that sounds about right. But we're not here for old music from my childhood.
We might eventually get to old stories about Anne Boleyn, though.
Perhaps
At
we
least her
will.
haunted stories.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, is it a Casper the Friendly Ghost situation then in that house?
Not really. If Casper would have shared the candy.
Yeah, but that wasn't their candy, right? This is the family ghost.
I thought the whole
when-
point of every Casper show was someone was getting into trouble and Casper had to help.
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, that's all of TV, especially in the time when they made Casper.
okay.
Simple. Someone's being bad. Somebody has to help them out to be good. And that was Casper. And that seems like a similar situation. Maybe this ghost understands you can't just eat candy all the time.
Or
Maybe it's a former fitness ghost.
Maybe the mean lady that didn't really want them there had laced the candy with razor blades like you hear about on Halloween all the time. And the ghost was like, oh shit, if they get into that, they're going to have all chopped up throats. We can't have that.
Razor blades are pretty obvious. Maybe it's poisoned candy. That's probably the way to go.
Well, maybe she likes to go out in just a bloodbath. Huh? You ever think about that? Maybe the vengeance radiating out of this woman for having to take in this family for a short period of time.
So
This got
did
pretty dark pretty quick there, Rob, and I apologize. Christian put his weird theories in my mind.
was the ghost owner's name Karen?
Maybe.
Do you get canceled for calling people Karens?
Not in this America. I wonder.
Or Bruce?
Okay. Weird.
There's got to be a guy equivalent.
I think it's Chad.
Oh,
I think. Maybe Chad's a good thing. I don't know. Guys, I can't keep up with the lingo. I'm fucking in my mid-30s now.
I have a friend
all right?
named Chad who's cool. I don't have any friends named Bruce that are cool.
Okay. So there's that, I guess.
Science.
Science.
Christian Science.
Wow.
No, not really. Not really. Just kidding.
Wow.
Play on words.
Sure. As is everything we do around here. Yeah, I don't really have.
I don't feel like it's Santeria, though.
But see, that's the one thing I will say about that is that if this ghost was like almost like, people that practice like the dark arts, if you will.
Santeria?
Sure, I'm not even going to say Santeria. Practice in like just a big umbrella term, the dark arts. Can we call them that? That's a fun term. Let me call it that.
I mean, depends
So,
on what you mean by it.
The people that practice the dark arts, if I may continue, you have something at times called a familiar, right? Familiar spirit. You're aware of that term?
Yeah, I watched Agatha.
Oh my God.
All along.
Disney references. But the idea that maybe this is something that is attached to the family, and so they can almost control it in a way, or quote unquote control, because you can't really control the thing. You and I know that, but the listeners need to be learned. It's fine. So maybe it's a situation, maybe that's why she said possibly Santeria.
Maybe, you ever think maybe this is one of those children's guardian angels keeping them out of trouble?
No. You know why? Because that's ridiculous.
Oh, angels are ridiculous?
Yes, Christian, that's what I was saying. Angels are ridiculous. No, the idea that an angel is keeping him out of trouble by banging on the glass.
I mean,
When the lady already said there's a ghost in the house, and then she acknowledged that there's a ghost in the house, Robin clearly didn't believe there was a ghost in the house and had to learn the hard way. But if she leaves the house and her familiar stays behind or something like that, she could be like, yo, they get in and just spook them a little bit, I don't know. I'm not fully versed in the dark arts, But that's such a fun term, right?
Is it?
It is. I enjoy saying it because I don't know. It's like it spans the entire breadth of the spiritual realm.
That sounds amazing. Dark arts.
Dark arts.
Yeah, I'm going to go look into some dark arts.
Secrets of the Darkest art right next to you. I forgot. Maybe that's where it keeps popping in my head.
Don't even make me look over there.
Why? Because the can of jelly beans?
No, my black mirror is gone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, Robin, thank you for sending that in. And thank you for being a valued listener. Anyway, this next one is from Tamber. It's called The Basement Dweller. Tamber's a fun name. I like that.
So it's teenager? Or...
So is teenager?
So it's a teenager or
Why would you say that?
Teenagers like to have a bedroom in the basement and dwell there.
You literally just heard the title and you just
moving on. You didn't get it. Just let it go. Let it go. One of my duds.
Yeah, just one of the duds. It's fine. Anyway, this is actually I should probably. I'm not going to give a trigger warning, but if you're someone that needs a trigger warning in this America, then consider me saying I'm not giving one the trigger warning you need, because this is kind of a doozy and actually a very fascinating story. It got me thinking, and I'm sure it's going to get you thinking as well.
That's pretty hard to do with Scott.
It really is. It truly, truly is.
Me, I think all the time.
I think you're a dingbat. There you go. I did it. Anyway, hi guys. Love your show and wanted to share a ghost story from when I was young. I was 8 years old and my dad was dating a woman who had a very old house out in the country.
That already sounds like trouble.
Ghost territory, no doubt.
No, my dad was dating somebody. Nothing. That's like how scary movies start.
Sure. Yeah. Most of the time, opening credits, my dad is dating somebody. Oh no, a demon. Anyway, they left me there alone one day and I had a scary experience. I heard weird noises in the basement and stupidly, like in a horror movie, I decided to check it out. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, there was a strange looking man there. I screamed and ran upstairs, but he followed me. I can't really explain how it even happened, but he got into my head and convinced me that I needed to kill myself. Under a trance-like state, I went outside, sat down on the lawn, and started to choke myself with the garden hose. I ended up passing out, and my dad found me laying on the lawn when he came home. He asked me why I was outside, and I told him my story, but of course he didn't believe me. I mean, who would? I went back home to my mom, and she didn't believe me either, but could see how upset I was about it. I asked to never go back to that house, and luckily I never did. Yeah, so that's my little story that I've never told anyone else for fear of not being believed. But what 8-year-old chokes themselves with a hose? So strange and scary. Thanks for letting me tell my story. And Tamber, thank you for feeling comfortable enough to share your story with us. I always enjoy that. I like getting the first timers, you know? Especially a story like that. That is absolutely bananas, right?
That is pretty crazy.
What a crazy thing to happen to an 8-year-old, no doubt. And I should probably preface this by saying I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that you experienced that. And I believe that it was a demon. Christian?
It doesn't have to be a demon to... That sounds pretty...
Just malevolent spirit?
That just sounds like an evil human in a lot of ways. But if demons existed, then they would inhabit the bodies of evil humans.
You're saying it was a real person?
I'm not a real person.
Or like a spirit of like a bad person.
Probably a spirit of a bad person.
Malevolent. Just kind of...
Yeah, just maybe if there is such a thing, this whoever spirit this is was a troubled person.
Sure. Could also be another... What's the word that people say for...
Unalived?
Yeah, I guess. Ugh. God, YouTube, fix it. I'm tired of this shit. Anyway, yeah, they could be... It could be someone that unalived themselves, you know, and then, because I've heard stories of that people that unalive themselves in like buildings or whatever, you do feel that oppressive nature in the like residence itself, people that move in or whatever. It's like, there's something heavy here.
Well, sometimes I wonder if things like this aren't necessarily something evil or malevolent. If it's just like maybe, I don't know what, like the vibes because of whatever happened there are just really dark. And then when we experience it, we interpret it to be like, go grab that garden hose around you.
Yeah.
And so
that feels like you're being led though. You know what I mean? Like so that doesn't even feel like just like a heavy vibe. That feels like you were legitimately being led.
That's what the story sounds like. But you know, if there's not a demon or an evil entity, but there's some darkness there. It could just be the way it affects us mentally that takes us down that same path as if there was something evil there.
But you think that could happen to an 8-year-old?
You
You think like that they could experience like the heaviness or the oppression or whatever of the atmosphere to a point that they get in their own heads and like go out and...
Well, the problem with some of this stuff too is like it's easy to be like, oh, it's like an 8-year-old. But some 8-year-olds watch and see and experience things that they shouldn't. Yeah. So these things can affect them differently, or they can interpret it. Who knows, sometimes like I work with somebody who doesn't get to watch certain scary movies because the TV is right on the wall and their 3-year-old is on the other side. Because like, let's just say you're watching something scary and your child's somewhat asleep, but they hear it.
Yeah.
It might have some kind of an effect on them that scares the crap out of them, but they don't even know why. So who knows? This one's fascinating and scary at the same time, no matter what.
I think it's hard to, like, from just a strictly non-spiritual side, to say that it's just like a vibe or something like that. I don't think that it's as loosey-goosey as that. Like, you can feel a vibe. Like, you can feel, like, dark energy or something. Maybe, I don't know if you can, but a lot of people, they can walk into a room and feel the tension, or they can feel negativity or heaviness or oppression.
But that may affect them differently depending on who they are. That next step, or what they do, or what it does to them.
Sure, but I think you're probably going to laugh, but the logical conclusion to something like that, something happening like that, obviously, mom and dad didn't believe her.
Which is normal, or yes. Sometimes they believe their children, but they have to play it off.
Yeah, but see, I also come from a family of parents that didn't believe me either. I never had anything nearly as tragic or traumatic as something like that. But I think that if there is a presence there, I'm not going to call it a demon, even though that's probably what it was.
I mean, it feels like a demon in this case.
Sure,
but...
even like a generalization of like horror movies or something like that. That's what a demon would do, right?
Right.
I think that they sometimes prey not only on children because it's easy targets, but I think they prey on them because they know that nobody's going to fucking... It's like the old Bill Murray meme where he walks up, grabs a fry off someone's plate, eats it, and says, no one's going to believe you, and walks off. So these things can get away with like more of the traumatic shit because they know that the kid's going to run tell the parents. Parents are going to be like, okay, oh, you're just having a bad dream, or whoa, what a crazy thing that you think happened, but definitely didn't happen, And so I think that there's a sentience to stuff like this that it's almost tangible, and it's very much tangible for Tamber in this story because they experienced it. But I think kids are just kind of like, they may be more open to the spiritual side, like you kind of mentioned, them being magical or whatever in their youth. But with that comes the possibility of running into some pretty dark shit that can, unfortunately, do some damage, turns out.
But yeah, I agree. I would like to know, unfortunately, being 8 years old, there's probably not much information we can get about the house or the lady that the dad was dating. Did the dad stay with that lady?
You think it was maybe the lady that, or what if it was the lady's husband or something that had passed on? Or there's a lot of... That's pretty...
I mean, even a ghost husband wouldn't go... A jealous ghost husband should have some morals when it comes to children, but...
I mean, I haven't met too many jealous ghost husbands myself, so I can't speak from experience.
I mean, I might have met some, I just didn't realize it because I don't believe typically, but I'd like to know more about this house, more about the woman.
Yeah.
Because I think that might give us a little bit more information. Now, with being 8 years old, the chances of remembering all that stuff or even having the details at that age are difficult. But I would like more information because this story is believable.
It is believable.
I don't know what it was. I'd like to know more. So let us know if you have any more information about this whole scenario. Absolutely. If not, I understand too.
And Tamber, thank you again. You could have shared that anywhere, but you shared it with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That means a lot. And I know, like, as someone that, got ridiculed a lot for my own stories growing up, it is very difficult to talk about it because you obviously know going in, people are not going to believe you, and that's fine, but you stand in your truth, damn it.
I feel like any of the things I experienced when I was a kid, I didn't get told that like my parents didn't sound like they didn't believe me, but I'm like, did I tell them? Or did I keep it to myself? Because I'm also kind of a keep things to myself type of person.
Possibly. I know that I told my parents a lot. I used to literally run into my brother's room all the time to sleep in there because I was terrified. It was not a fun childhood, but there was one time my brother even, I'm sure, I mean, he believed me obviously, but like there was one time I was like, there's something in the backyard and I can see its shadow on our window. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, come look. And then he came in my room and he saw it and he was like, yeah, you can sleep in my room, man. It's fine. Like, so even like there was some things that, it's good having an eyewitness because nobody else is going to believe you, and the rest of my family definitely didn't. But shout out to my brother, RIP.
I feel like I told the story about that shadow I saw outside my window when I was really young, when the Nightstalker was running around the area I lived.
Probably not, but that sounds par for the course with you, honestly.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night, looked out my window, and it looked like a silhouette of a person standing outside my window. So I slowly reached down, grabbed my dog Happy, and went and told my mom and slept in the living room. But my mom also had me terrified because
she's talking about it nonstop.
Richard Ramirez was pretty close to where we lived at the time.
Yeah.
Doing all that stuff. I think he got caught a couple weeks later.
That's what happens when you work with the devil, right?
True
that.
And you're a creepy fuck like he was.
He was a creepy fuck, turns out. Anyway, this we'll close it out with this one from Tables. It's called...
From who?
Tables.
Okay.
It's an online handle.
I got it.
He's like, use my name, but use my online handle. I'm like, all right, gotcha.
Do you know I met a guy named Cable the other day?
Were you reading a Marvel comic?
No. Oh. He was named Cable before
it was cool.
Before Cable was a Marvel character.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I think Cable's been around for quite some time.
I mean, I don't know Marvel comics that much.
Christian, stop lying. You exclusively know everything about comics and nerd stuff.
I do know a lot of nerd stuff.
You do know a lot of nerd stuff. He's telling the truth. Anyway, this is called Time Jump and a Premonition Dream. He's also got another one that isn't going to make it'll probably be in volume 11, but remember a while back I asked for dream loop stories? He's got a pretty crazy long dream loop story. And that's the only reason I couldn't fit it in here because it was a longer one. But
I feel like you need to make a graphic or a song based on Now This Is Music, volume, whatever, but for our listener stories.
Absolutely. In time. Anyway, it goes, hi, gang. Oh, I think he's starting from the beginning and working his way up because in the original email he sent, he's like, hey, what's up? Love the show. But he addressed it to you, me, and Heather. And I was like, oh, no, he hasn't had his heart broken yet. In time. He's probably aware of it now, but it's fine. Shout out Heather.
How old is this email?
This was probably September.
Okay.
So now it might be January, so I don't know. Who knows? Anyway. Says, I know I just emailed saying that I didn't have any freaky stories to share with you, but one of the episodes I listened to today triggered a memory from years ago. Back when I was going to a community college, I experienced something I couldn't quite explain in the moment. Note, since I didn't think to document this event back then, all times are given to the best of my knowledge. The exact time isn't the point, but the jump.
Adderall.
Okay, great start from Christian. It was the spring semester of 2007, and I didn't have a cell phone at the time. After lunch, I was busy studying at one of the tables in the front of the library and lost track of time. I looked up at the analog wall clock, and my stomach dropped when I saw that it was almost 2:10, and I was late for my next class.
Been there.
Oh, yeah. As I quickly put my books away, I checked my digital wristwatch to be sure. Analog clocks are sometimes hard to read with my dyslexia, and it said it was indeed 2:09 p.m. I run to class, not seeing anyone on the way, but thinking nothing of it, since this was a less busy part of the campus in the opposite direction of the quad, and there were classes in session. When I finally reach my class, huffing and puffing, I find it empty. Setting my bag down at a seat, I go back and check the door for any note from the professor. When I see the clock, it's only 1:15, and my watch agreed that I was 45 minutes early for class. When I try to rationalize it now, I can only think that I misread both clocks, one due to dyslexia and one due to panic. It's either that or I traveled back in time by 1 hour while running to class that one time. Now here's a somewhat related, even weirder bonus story that I remembered while writing this email. While I was visiting some family in Costa Rica.
Great place.
I know, I was actually wondering, did you slap stickers around when you were visiting out there?
Yeah.
So part of me was like, it'd be so hilarious if you found a random sticker out there and was like, oh, I'm going to listen to this.
Yeah.
And there's one that you put up there. Yeah. So visiting in, is it Costa Rica?
I call it Costa Rica.
Yeah,
but
we're
probably
Americans.
some people call it Costa.
We're going to say Costa because we're in America. Sorry about that. Sorry about our ignorance. Back in 2011, I had a dream in which my grandma and one of my cousins were having a mundane conversation/argument. in Spanish with topics including what's for breakfast, making orange juice, and needing to comb his messy hair. When I woke up, I remembered most of the conversation and mentioned to my mom that I had a weird dream about the two of them arguing about a comb, but gave no other details of what they said, and me not being fully fluent would have had difficulty repeating it. A few minutes later, I get a feeling of extreme deja vu when I hear my grandma and cousin have a near exact conversation to what I remembered while I was brushing my teeth. It was different partly because I interrupted them to ask if they've ever had that conversation before. Now, predicting what we would eat for breakfast wasn't that big of a deal, as Grandma liked to make a traditional Costa Rican breakfast of gallo pinto and platano, with only a few minor variations of side dishes, and we had been there for a few days already, starting to pick up on her patterns. The fresh orange juice was new. We had different frescas the day before, but maybe I heard someone mention something in Spanish and only registered it subconsciously. And as for the comb, my cousin did have his curly hair rather long at the time, and didn't always take care of it. But I have no logical explanation for my dream predicting the entire conversation in order. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy what I shared. Best regards, Tables. Thanks, Tables.
Man, hearing the food in Costa Rica, food was amazing there.
That's what I hear.
So were the beaches.
Yeah.
And the beaches.
And the beaches.
And the
hey,
people.
what other eaches, you know? The sneeches on the beaches.
The star-bellied sneeches.
There you go. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's pretty wild.
It's fascinating. Like, I think we've all had moments like that, and it just makes you wonder, am I just being dense? And did I forget what time it was? Or
yeah, we have all had moments like that, for sure.
Did I just slip away for a while, and all of a sudden it's...
Very fascinating that, I mean, I know the explanation was, you know, classes were in session or whatever, and it wasn't a very busy part of school, but not seeing anyone on the run there, that's something that you hear detail-wise in a lot of stories of these kind of time slips and stuff like that. Do you remember, what was it? It had to have been years ago now. We talked about these people driving in a car and this person like walking next to them, but like not walking, or them driving up on someone that was like walking but not walking. It was like a weird glitch thing. And it was when they were driving all over the place trying to find, I want to say it was a time slip, that they got lost for like an hour or something on this road, but I can't remember too many of the details. But it kind of reminds me of that, where when people experience these things, there's usually not a lot of folks around, or
Right.
if there is, it's someone creepy looking, you know? So I don't know. I mean, is it possible that it was, you know, 1:09 and it took him 6 minutes to get to the classroom? That would put it at 1:15. Yes, entirely possible. But the fact that he double checked the wall clock and his wristwatch, the number 1 and the number 2 are vastly different on wristwatches, you know?
Well, and these are those things that feel so real that how could they not be?
Yeah. I don't know. Who's to say? There's no explanation for that.
I tend to believe like I don't believe in demons and ghosts or
Really? No,
the
that's
devil,
weird.
but
I thought for sure you were on board.
I do believe that we can slip into places
Oh, yeah.
like that, you know, like,
We sure can.
or slip away from here for a little bit and go to a Starbucks and get some drugs
Sure,
on the
why not?
astral realm.
Why not? Probably got that good shit over there.
Probably doesn't affect you as badly as the regular stuff does.
Or maybe it affects you so much worse, you know?
Maybe you always stay in that realm after that.
That's how they get you. What do you think about the premonition dream?
That one's weird too.
Yeah. I've had some similar dreams, but not stuff that was like that detailed. I've had the, you know, deja vu type of stuff where you're just like, I know I've lived this before. Where did this happen? But nothing to where you can remember the exact conversation down. But there's a lot of stories of people out there that have dreams and then go on to live them out like a year or so later, and they're like, well, hold on a second, I actually dreamed this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is weird.
We already know from a famous movie that's just a glitch in the Matrix.
Oh yeah. What
Or
movie was that? The
Deja Vu.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
It's the Matrix, man.
Oh yeah, that
Deja
checks
vu.
out. Whoa, deja vu.
Yeah.
Classic Keanu. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. See you later.
Peace out.
Remember to review the show, and remember to send in your stories to thegang at thefreakydeaky.com if you want to have them read on the show for an episode of this, or send in a voicemail. Chris and I are going to at some point start going through the voicemails for video. So if you want that, I know we just got one from Marlene, I think yesterday, And I got about 10 other ones from probably 6 months ago that I got to work through. So if you haven't heard back from us on those, we've been planning this for a long time and have not executed it. Oopsie daisy. Anyway, follow us on social media at Freaky Deaky Pod. Review the show. Share it with your friends. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, New Year, Halloween, Thanksgiving. Whatever this lands on, congratulations, you did it. Now you know we're ahead, okay? Oopsie daisy. I'll do the math later. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bigfoot is stalking by your window. Dogman is scratching at your door. Ghosties are walking up and down your halls at night, and the Hat Man is coming back for more. Your name is Christian, you love a can of beans, and you're the wettest blanket skeptic this world has ever seen. You're almost always wrong, it's quite an impressive streak. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Deaky. Your name is Christian, you're named ironically, because the only belief you have can be found in a can of beans. You're almost never right, and now you'll get roasted weekly. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Deaky. Also, ghosts exist, just an FYI. Aliens are feeling blue. Ouija demons lonely because they believe in you. They believe in you. They believe in you. In you. Oak.